Welcome back to the Good News Podcast, where we dive deep into faith, love, and relationships through a biblical lens. I'm your host, Privileged Truth, and today we're continuing our love language series with the second love language, acts of service. If you missed out on our last episode, Words of Affirmation, be sure to go back and check that out. Now, understanding acts of service. What exactly is acts of service? Simply put, this love language is all about actions speaking louder than the words. It's about showing love through service, selflessness, and intentional acts that make life easier for others. So when we think about that, what better example can we think about than thinking about Jesus? His entire ministry was rooted in serving others. He washed the disciples' feet. That was in John chapter 13. Verses 12 through 17. He fed the hungry, he healed the sick, and ultimately gave his life for all of us. Service is love in action. I'm gonna say it again. Service is love in action. When we serve, we reflect the heart of Christ, y'all. So we need to try to put that into practice more. With that being said, there's many biblical connections. And I mean, you see them repeatedly emphasizing the importance of serving others. You have Galatians 5:13, which tells us, serve one another humbly in love. And then you have Matthew 23:11, that reminds us the greatest among you will be your servant. Come on now, really think about it. Serving isn't about recognition or reward. It's about humility. It's about love, and it's about obedience to God's will. See, acts of service in relationships reflect the same principle. It's about putting someone else's needs above your own, not because you have to, but because love moves you to do so. Therefore, recognizing and speaking this love language is very important. If acts of service is your love language, you feel most loved when someone helps you without being asked, right? Whether that's making a meal, handling a task, or simply doing something that lightens your load. If this is your partner, family member, or friend's love language, here's how you can show love effectively. 1, be intentional. Notice what they need help with and step in without being asked. 2, small acts matter. A simple cup of coffee in the morning, running an errand, or helping with chores can speak volumes. 3, follow through. This one is very, very important. If you say you'll do something, do it. Trust and love grow through consistency. Thoughtful actions, y'all. Keep that in mind. So if you say you'll do it, do it. Now turning the page to common misunderstandings. Sometimes acts of service can be misunderstood. Some may think, I don't need help. I need love. But for those with this love language, help, it is love. Another misunderstanding is assuming that only big acts count. But in reality, it's the everyday, consistent efforts that matter most. It's not just about grand gestures, but about reliability, thoughtfulness, and selflessness. So when you really think about it, acts of service, how much it can be misunderstood for the person, what are they really going through when they're not receiving their love language? Maybe it can answer a lot of questions to why you're going through certain situations in your relationship. Because maybe you or your partner are one who needs this type of love, which is acts of service. You know, where the small things matter. It's not always the big things. It's the little things. See, this week, I want to challenge you all. I want to challenge you to show love through service. I want you to identify one person in your life who value acts of service and do something intentional for them. Maybe it's helping a friend, maybe making a meal for your spouse, or even volunteering at your church. Remember, we love because Christ first loved us. 1 John 4:19. So, let's live out that love in action. Well, guys, that's it for today. And that's it for our episode on acts of service in our love language series. If this episode blessed you, be sure to share it with someone. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next time as we continue with the next love language. Until then, keep loving, keep serving, and keep shining in His truth. God bless. This is Privileged Truth, signing out.